I'm gonna put it like, I'm gonna be in shape, so I don't give a fuck. I could blast all 12 rounds. But he gonna be a damn fool. He trying to watch me the first half of the fight. He gonna be down, and then next thing you know, the last bell gonna ring, and be like.
The World Boxing Association super featherweight champion, Lamont Roach, has promised the entire boxing world a shocker in just a week's time. It's interesting to see that he fully understands his role as the underdog, a position that many of Gervonta Tank Davis's future opponents have found themselves in before.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
Hey, what's your game plan for this?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking.
In every case, the underdogs have always stayed underdogs, except in situations where Gervonta Tank Davis gives his opponents a few rounds before finishing them off with a crushing knockout. As for Davis's future in 2025, there are many questions. While retirement is a possibility, there's also a huge chance of a comeback. However, the promise he made to his fans is that after Lamont Roach, he has more heads to smash, starting with Roach's. This suggests that Tank is planning more fights this year and intends to make a statement by taking down Lamont Roach.
In the ring with, I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show.
Lamont Roach, on the other hand, is determined to hand Gervonta Tank Davis his first career loss on March 1st. While his claims may seem nearly impossible to many, a small fraction of the boxing community has given him some hope. This fight represents Roach's biggest opportunity yet, and with no title on the line, he can step into the ring without the added pressure, allowing him to focus solely on putting on a career-defining performance. Roach will be moving up to 135 pounds from his usual 130 pounds, where he holds the WBA title, and he's confident that he poses a much tougher challenge than Frank Martin, who Tank dispatched in 8 rounds back in June. The 29-year-old Roach made it clear in an interview with Cigar Talk, saying, "I'm not Frank Martin. Frank started boxing at 15, and he didn't have the experience to be in there with someone as skilled and experienced as me."
And basically we ended up talking like, you know what I'm saying, if it makes sense, you know, we both break bread, we get it, you know what I'm saying, it'd be a big fight.
Yeah.
So I always knew, it always been love for sure. But I always knew that right here would come because he's one of the best, and I know for 100% for a fact that I'm one of the best. You know what I'm saying? So
I've got the same skill level as Tank. I've got the same experience as Tank. I've got the reflexes, the ability, and I've damn sure got the IQ, Roach said confidently. The Reaper, as he's known, has faced Davis twice before in the amateurs, losing by decision on both occasions. However, Roach has been on a 6-fight winning streak since dropping a unanimous decision to Jamal Herring in 2019 during his bid for the WBC super featherweight world title. He secured the WBA crown with a split decision victory over Hector Luis Garcia in November 2023, a fighter Tank knocked out 10 months prior. Despite Davis's incredible knockout record, 28 knockouts from 30 fights, Roach insists that he has the chin to withstand the 29-year-old's power.
Coach Calvin, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, what's going on?
How you feeling?
Man, okay, man, okay.
The face of boxing, Gervonta Tank.
What makes people think I'm going to end up like those guys who didn't have the experience and skill? Roach continued, "I think I've got a nice chin. I've been hit a couple of times, and nobody's ever dropped me. Nobody's ever seen me hurt in any fight. The power might be a little different, but I'm ready for it." Meanwhile, Tank Davis is still riding high from his victory over Frank Martin this past June. The devastating 8th-round knockout solidified Davis's reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today, adding to his ever-growing legacy.
To the public, we know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh, man.
Motivated by his crushing victory, the lightweight champion, Gervonta Tank Davis, issued a veiled warning to his next opponent, Lamont Roach. Tank showed no mercy to Frank Martin in their June 15th clash at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. The World Boxing Association lightweight champion dominated the fight from start to finish, eventually knocking out Martin at 129 of the 8th round. Following this victory, both media and fans expected Davis to face one of the top prospects in the 135-pound division like Shakur Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko. However, the response from fans has not been as positive as Davis might have hoped.
The amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back before.
Gervonta Davis is accustomed to facing bigger fighters who, in pursuit of a title shot and a massive payday, carelessly drain themselves in weight cuts, often resulting in lackluster performances. However, that won't be the case with Lamont Roach. Roach is moving up in weight to the 135-pound lightweight division where Davis currently fights. This could present a different challenge, as Roach is coming in at his natural weight, ready to bring his best performance.
Real fake, cause you hating for, bro. Every time you see me, it's what up, shawty. It's definitely, you know how you talk. Cause you talking about, huh? I'm really him. I bring any type of smoke to anything in my way.
Lamont Roach is expected to look better than many of Gervonta Davis's recent opponents, such as Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia, who appeared to be drained or on a rehydration clause when they faced him. Roach, moving up to 135 pounds, is expected to come into the fight in top shape. However, despite these positives, there's a downside to this matchup. Typically, the boxing world is eager to see what Davis will do next, but this time, fans were disappointed when it was announced that Tank would be facing Lamont Roach. While Roach is a skilled fighter, he lacks the high-profile status and big wins that fans were hoping for. Many were hoping to see Davis face top names like Shakur Stevenson, Vasyl Lomachenko, or even Devin Haney. However, as is often the case, making these mega fights happen isn't always easy.
Your mind, what did you say to yourself? You had to say something to yourself when you seen the card.
I mean, I probably thought about, the fact that when I fought the last time I fought on pay-per-view, I was the opener. Now
there's a growing sentiment among fans that Gervonta Davis is coasting a bit, avoiding too many risks in his recent matchups. When this sentiment was called out by a user on social media, Davis was quick to defend himself, responding to a post, questioning if 2025 would be the year Davis faces more credible names. The user also raised concerns about Davis's age in relation to the fighters on his resume. A fan came to Tank's defense, pointing out that his victories over Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, Isaac Cruz, and Jose Pedraza were legitimate, especially considering how decisively he won those bouts. Davis agreed with his fans' perspective and subtly took shots at other fighters who, in his opinion, fought his leftovers like Rolando Romero, who fought Cruz after Tank had already beaten him, and Devin Haney, who fought Garcia after Davis dominated him. Davis is confident that he has faced plenty of top competition, and he stands by his track record.
Always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's good for...
Despite being the World Boxing Association super featherweight champion, Lamont Roach hasn't shown significant punching power, which is a crucial factor when facing a knockout artist like Tank Davis. Another disadvantage for Roach is that he will have to gain 9 pounds from his natural weight to compete in the lightweight division against Davis, which could affect his performance.
For the community.
Now, do you feel like there's unfair criticism because of Lamont Roach not being as known of a fighter? Hey, we're Coach Kenny Ellis.
What's up?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man. Taking it day by day.
Yes, sir. Boxing World got a big announcement.
The responses to Tank Davis's recent post highlight the disappointment of fans. Many expressed frustration, asking if he could fight someone who would actually challenge him, with some calling it yet another cherry-picked matchup. One fan summed up the sentiment of both media and fans, saying, "Y'all better stop falling for these weak tricks. Fighters moving up and down from their natural fighting weight. But he doesn't want to move up or face any of the competition in his wheelhouse style, Devin, Shakur, etc. Nobody wants this fight." With the December fight already confirmed, it remains to be seen whether Lamont Roach can prove his critics wrong, or if Tank Davis is simply picking easy opponents to avoid the top contenders in his division.
This week, we're going to get The face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, December 14th in Houston, Texas. How you feeling about this fight?
What's even more interesting about their matchup is that Tank Davis is facing a familiar foe next. The American boxer has decided to run it back against Lamont Roach, a fighter he crossed paths with twice in their amateur careers. It seems there's unfinished business between them, and the challenger might be eager to put an end to it. Notably, both Roach 29 and Davis 29 fought each other twice during their amateur days on bigger stages. The first encounter took place at the Regional Junior Olympics, while the second was at the National Championships.
I feel good, man. You know, same old, same old.
Lamont and Tank have history. What can you tell us about their history?
Therefore, both fighters are very familiar with each other and know all the tricks up each other's sleeves. However, according to Roach, he believes he should have been at least one up in their two amateur encounters. The Reaper opened up about his past fights with Tank Davis during an interview with Broadway Joel back on January 1st, 2025. When discussing his early career and his bouts with Tank, he explained, "I fought Tank Davis twice in the amateurs and lost both times. The first one was a little fishy, though. Both of them are on YouTube. You can go watch them."
And how that's going to play into the fight come fight night?
They got amateur history. They fought maybe 2 or 3 times.
Lamont Roach continued, "I fought Tank Davis twice in the amateurs and lost both times. But the first one was a little robbery. They're both on YouTube. You can go watch them. The first one was in Baltimore, his hometown, and the second was in the Nationals, where he beat me in the championships and won gold." The host then pointed out that the first fight seemed a little fishy compared to the second one, and Roach nodded in agreement. He went on to explain, "The first one I fought him was in Baltimore. At the Regional Junior Olympics, my dad sent the tape to USA Boxing, and after they reviewed it, they offered me a slot at Nationals."
Tank being the winner, they sparred a few times. Tank got the best of the sparring. They're just bigger and stronger now, you know? Older.
But as fate would have it, both Roach and Davis made it to the finals and faced off for their second meeting. With the result remaining the same, Roach continued, "They were like, 'We're going to give you a grant to go to Nationals.' We both made it to Nationals and fought for the championship. He beat me in the championship, so he won gold and I won silver that year." The Washington native would finish his amateur career with an impressive record of 1-5-1-5 and soon make a name for himself in the professional boxing world. Now, he's set to meet Davis for the third time, but there has been growing criticism about the matchup. Despite this, Calvin Ford, Davis's trainer, defended his fighter's decision to face Roach, stating that it was a legitimate challenge.
Now, it's some word out there that Lamont say, you know, he got some film that don't make Tank look too good. What could that? How could that affect, you know, the outcome on December 14th?
Shit, man. Tank, last 4 or 5 opponents all had film like about how they beat him up in sparring.
In a conversation with Fight Hype, Ford cited their previous meetings and battles, emphasizing the history between Davis and Roach. The Baltimore native coach also acknowledged that Roach took the fight, which played a significant role in pushing the negotiations forward. He stated they've known each other since the amateurs, the silver gloves and everything. They grew up with each other. Everybody's talking about all that stuff. Why Roach? Because he took the fight, and it's good for the community.
That's a real good fight. I would love to see that. That's a scrappy. That'd be a scrappy fight.
Hey, give me how you compare.
According to Ford, it will be an interesting fight because Roach has never shied away from exchanges and is always willing to come to fight. Despite Roach's reputation as a skilled fighter, fans may have a different perspective, as this marks the third time the World Boxing Association champion has chosen to face an opponent from a lower division to defend his gold strap. It remains to be seen how Roach will utilize the experience from their past encounters.
Compare the styles.
I got Shushu boxing a little bit more than.
Fans were not pleased with the announcement, as many were hoping for a big fight from Tank. Given his current form, there were numerous opportunities for a potential dream matchup that could have sold out stadiums. One fan expressed their frustration, writing, "So Haney just came out and said he could have been ready to fight in October, and Tank couldn't send him an offer. He couldn't send Teo an offer. Shake my head. The fact that both Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney were also searching for their next opponents, yet a deal couldn't be made the announcement all the more disappointing for fans. Another fan was visibly surprised and wrote, "This better not be true," as soon as the news broke.
Part of everything that's going on. Just to be here today, fighting in the MGM, putting on, you know what I mean, a great event. You know what I mean?
Thank you, guys.
Tank, when you got in the finals?
Another frustrated fan directly questioned the quality of the matchup, throwing shade at premier boxing champions PBC. "This is not breaking at all." Another trash fight from PBC. "This is going to flop so bad at a $90 PPV, it'll be streamed," wrote the fan, criticizing PBC for the choice of opponent for Tank Davis. The fan was adamant that this fight did not deserve a $90 pay-per-view rate, and that Tank could have picked a much better opponent. However, in a rare moment, another fan defended Davis, expressing confusion over the anger toward the fight. "If this is true, can you really get mad at Tank? He's staying at 135, and everyone is ducking him in that weight class," the fan wrote, suggesting that Lamont Roach might have been the best available option for Davis.
You got more to do. You got more to do, guys.
I don't know. Right, Dallas.
You got Dallas?
In a conversation with Mill City Boxing, Berto Boncourt admitted that Davis's team had reached out to them, and after receiving a lucrative offer, they began preparing for the fight. However, Lamont Roach ultimately claimed the opportunity for himself. When asked about the matchup, the coach commented, "Hey, I ain't knocking on him. It is a good fight. A 130-pounder going up to 135. Why would you fight somebody who is a natural 135-pounder?" He pointed out that when comparing Delos, Santos, and Roach, the latter would be the easier matchup.
Pound for pound, I think I'm a harder puncher than Tank.
That's very interesting. I know the fans are going to love to hear that. You never know what could happen. Is Tank somebody you would like to see yourself in the ring with?
Absolutely.
As Boncourt pointed out, it's tougher to face a natural 135 pounds boxer than someone who has to move up in weight for the fight. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that Roach is the reigning champion at 130 on a 6-fight win streak and has only suffered one defeat in his 27-fight career. Known for his explosive power and crowd-pulling ability, Gervonta Davis has solidified himself as one of the most brilliant boxing stars in the sport today.
Absolutely. Near the end of 2025, that's what we're aiming for.
There you go. There you go. You heard it from the man himself. Before I let you go, I'd be remiss not to ask you anything you'd like to share with the fans.
The 29-year-old Baltimore native, Gervonta Davis, boasts an impressive record of 30 wins. Known for his unique approach in the ring, he often lets his opponents win early rounds before delivering a devastating knockout punch. Currently holding the World Boxing Association Lightweight World Championship, Davis has become one of the most marketable athletes in boxing. His success has drawn the attention of many rivals, eager to share the ring with him, including two-division champion Teofimo Lopez, who recently signaled that he's ready for a showdown later this year.
Yeah. So when it comes to it, when it's there, it's a different story. At the end of the day, ain't nobody fighting for me but me. I ain't scared of nobody. Shit, Gervonta Davis.
In a recent interview with Fight Hype, Teofimo Lopez questioned Davis's willingness to face elite opponents. He emphasized his long-standing belief that Davis has been under the careful control of his management, pointing to his past resistance to facing Vasyl Lomachenko. Lopez criticized Davis's camp, saying, "The main hole that they have is they don't believe in themselves. How many times did they say Tank Davis wasn't ready for Loma? How many times did Mayweather have to speak? For him, I'm just speaking facts." Lopez also reflected on a sparring session he had with Davis 11 years ago, when Davis was already a professional at 18, while Lopez was just 15. Although Davis's aggressive approach stood out, during the session, Lopez emphasized that there isn't much to be gained from their early encounter. He then went on to discuss Lamont Roach, acknowledging that Roach is a technically sound, championship-level fighter. However, Lopez expressed that, for a pay-per-view event, he would prefer to see Davis face someone who has demonstrated explosive performances at the highest level, or at least has a polarizing personality. He pointed out that Davis is undeniably a pay-per-view star, while Lopez disagreed with the pay-per-view choices for many of Davis's fights. He acknowledged that Tank has been established on that platform for a while now.
Danny, I wanted to get your thoughts. I appreciate you coming out. I wanted to get your thoughts, Danny, on the Tank Roach thing. So just your thoughts on the fight in general. What do you think about the fight?
Exactly. The pay-per-view model is largely driven by a fighter's established status. Regardless of the opponent's caliber, once a fighter, like Tank Davis, reaches a certain level of fame and marketability, they're going to stay in that space, even if the fights don't match the expectations of fans. Lamont Roach, while skilled, hasn't done enough at the highest levels to justify a high-profile pay-per-view event on his own. His title defense against Fergal McRae, for example, doesn't offer the same level of intrigue as a showdown with a fighter like Shocker Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko. Davis, for all his talent and knockout power, has been criticized for fighting opponents who haven't consistently been in the upper echelon of the division. This has led to some frustration among boxing fans who feel that Tank is coasting and avoiding tougher challenges. However, in the world of pay-per-view boxing, the bigger name often overrides the skill level of the opponent. For Tank, it's about keeping his status and maximizing his earnings, even if it means taking fights that aren't as exciting on paper.
Calm down, brother. Come to the fight. Come to the fight. They probably gonna get you fucked up. Look, fool.
Frank Martin, one of Davis's past opponents, is indeed a solid fighter. Unlike Roach, Martin is already established in the lightweight division. He was on track to face Shocker Stevenson and had delivered some strong performances, sparking curiosity about his potential at the highest level. There's no doubt that Davis is at the top of the sport, which is why the careful selection of his opponents often frustrates fans who are eager to see him face the most challenging competition.